Moving your office, library, factory or warehouse? With Allied Pickford's Business Relocations Melbourne, relocating your business and office equipment is a smooth and seamless experience. So relax, we carry the load.
Well, Essendon list manager Adrian Dodoro has taken some time out of his busy schedule to give us an update on what we're doing in terms of trades, and some great news last night, Adrian, with two young boys from GWS signing on with the club.
Yeah, it was great news last night. We traded selection 48 for two GWS young players in Kurt Aylett and young Sean Edwards as well. So two boys that have got good speed, good endurance. They were 17-year-old zone selections for GWS. They've gone through a couple of AFL pre-seasons, but because of GWS' strong list and their abundance of young, talented players, we were able to pounce on two young boys that we think will play a pretty big role for us for a number of years.
Fantastic deal for the club to get two players with one pick. Can you sort of give us an insight on how that all sort of came about?
Yeah, well, we had to change our strategy midstream, obviously, with the sanctions that were imposed. So, obviously, all year we thought we'd have a first and second round draft pick, and they were going to be the cornerstone of our strategy. Once that changed, we had to look at a number of players across the country that we thought would suit our needs, because we weren't entitled to get that cream of the crop. And in both these boys, we feel that we've got a deal that minimises some of the damage of the sanctions.
Beautiful. And can you give us a sort of an insight into the where they play on the ground and the sort of the roles and what they'll bring to the club? Yeah,
Kurt Aylett, he's a young guy that he was so highly touted when he was at North Ballarat a number of years ago, and he can play on ball, half back. He's got exceptional endurance. I think that the boys that will be really impressed with his ability to run. He's got good speed, and he's a mature young man who'll give himself every chance. So really happy to have him. And Shawnee Edwards is a boy that we've had our eye on for quite a while, Indigenous boy. Currently playing for the Indigenous All-Stars, representing Australia in Ireland at the moment. And speaking to Kevin Sheehan, who's over there at the moment, they're exceptionally happy with the way he played the other night. Was in their best six players. Again, he has a bit of magic about him, and we just have to make sure that we provide him with an environment that gets the best out of him.
I guess the big name that everyone's sort of been throwing around, and there's been reports that he's already signed, the deal's done, but Paul Chapman, can you give us an insight into where that deal's at?
Yeah, it's taken a little bit of time, but we're finally getting there in terms of putting him on the list. So he'll come on the list as a delisted free agent on the 1st of November. So it's all looking good, and we're looking forward to getting Paul Chapman to the club next year. So pretty exciting to get two young players plus Paul Chapman to the club. And
obviously, it'd be great for Paul to be reunited with Bomber, who's obviously going to coach the team next year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Was that a swaying point?
Oh, look, it was. I think that. Obviously with our list, we looked at our demographics, and obviously with Stu Cremeri requesting a trade, it was really important that we found someone that can play not only forward but play up in the midfield. And he should give us the flexibility to play deep and on ball, and hopefully get us 35 goals, the goals that say Stewie's been giving us. But the thing that really swayed it for us was his intensity and his just desired to be a really good player. Even at turning 32 years of age, let's not hide that fact. But he just wants to keep playing, and you can see he'll be really good for the change room, and that's what we're excited about.
And his body's fine. He has had his medical test, and the body's going to hold up.
No worries at all about that. Obviously, we did our due diligence, and he's gone through a very vigorous process, and no, he's fine in that regard. And we think he should have no problems next year.
You mentioned Stu Cremeri. Can you give us an update as to where that deal's at with the Bulldogs?
Yeah, we've put 3 or 4 or even more options to the Bulldogs. They're obviously a little bit reluctant at the moment to do a deal that would give us a little bit more. It's in their hands at the moment to a degree, but we're working together. I've had a number of discussions with Jason McCartney, and hopefully we'll get that one done. I think we've probably got to the point where we would love to keep him. We've said that openly, but it looks more and more likely that he will leave our footy club.
And what about Scott Gumbleton's strong suggestion that he will go to Freo?
Yeah, look, he's requested a trade to Fremantle, and we're in discussions with Fremantle at this point. So it's up to them to make us an offer for him, and at the moment we haven't had anything that's been suitable for a trade. So, but we've got still a couple of days to do that.
And a couple of other names that have been mentioned in terms of trades is Leroy Jetta and David Myers. Can you give us an update as to if there's been any movement there?
Yeah, interesting. Both boys have been speculated quite a bit, and both boys are contracted for next year. So, you know, you always keep an open mind to trades, but they definitely haven't been put on the table, and they'll be here next year for sure.
And any other contract news in terms of our list? There's a couple of other players that are out of contract. Have you got any news as to...
Yeah, we're just about finalised our list. So at this point in time, we'll be going in with 2 live selections in the national draft, given that Lockie Dalglish will go up. So we're just about finalised deals for... we've finalised Hardingham and Nick O'Brien just in the last 24 hours. So they've signed on, and we're just about complete.
Well, thanks very much for your time, Adrian.
Thanks, mate.